So this video is to walk you through how to create graphs online. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to go into Google Drive, and then you're going to go into Google Apps, and you're going to open Google Sheets. You could totally do this with Microsoft using Excel. They're pretty similar. Okay, so you can open a blank one. Okay, so this is what Google Sheets look like. Make sure that you click on the top and you create a title. It auto-saves, so it's gonna auto-save as Untitled, but just put a title, it doesn't matter what it is. I created something here already, so I call it solubility. So this is pertaining to lesson 4, where there was so this is lesson 4, let me go from the beginning. So this is lesson 4, and it's a Pogo activity. In other words, it walks you through different ideas. And eventually you're going to get to model 2, which gives you a data and asks you a few questions about it, and then asks you to plot the data. So if you're in class, we would be plotting this by hand, but in reality, no one plots things by hand anymore. Everyone either uses calculators or Excel or Sheets. So no one does anything by hand anymore. So I figured it'd be a good idea to show you how to do it. So let's read this. So it says that someone took several amounts of a solid. It doesn't say what it is, it doesn't matter. At a certain water temperature, at a certain amount of water, so the amount of water is constant. So if one thing that does not change is the amount of water, the one thing that's changing is the amount of solid that's being added. So it's adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10 grams of this solid. And then what's measuring is how much is being dissolved. So when 1 gram of this solid was added, 1 gram was dissolved. Whereas when 10 grams of it was added, only 4 grams was dissolved. It's the same idea that if you're making a juice or something that requires you to add sugar, there will be a certain amount, and no matter how much sugar you add, it's just going to settle to the bottom, it's not going to get dissolved. So it's the same thing going on here. There's a certain amount that it won't be dissolved. So what we're looking to create is called a solubility curve, to see what does it look like as an overall picture. So as we start an experiment, this is what you're changing, this is what you're measuring. So this should be your independent variable, right? It's what you're changing. And what you measure is your dependent variable. So this is what it's going to be, your dependent variable. So here's going to be your x, here's going to be your y. Alright, so now let's see how we're going to create the graph. So the first thing is that you need to create a title. So when you click on the cell, you write mass of solid, and it's in grams. So where did I get this from? Well, I got it from here. Mass of solid. It says mass of solute, but mass of solid, grams. Okay, so that's where I got it from. And then you're gonna have to put the numbers in here. So it is 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And don't worry, I know the table says 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. You do need to do some formatting, but I don't want to spend time with this right now. So 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10 is fine. The way I went from one cell to the other, there are a couple ways. You can just enter, right? Just enter. It walks you through it. You can also click on it. There's different ways. So this is my x. Then I have to do my y, which is mass of solute dissolved. So I would write something like this. Mass of solid dissolved. it doesn't really matter what you write. And it's okay if this is hidden, it's still there. Sometimes if you write something else, it's going to hide, but it's okay. So then you're going to put the numbers that are in here, those numbers. Okay, and you're going to have to do one by one. I already done them, so I'm going to show you. Right, so mass of solid, mass of solute dissolved. So this is pretty much what was in that table. You just copied to here. And you do have to do it by hand because I don't think you can just copy and paste. Right, so this is the table that was given to you. So now let's talk about how to create the graph. It's pretty simple. All you need to do is highlight the whole thing. Okay, so I just clicked and I held and I highlighted the whole thing. Then you go into Insert, Chart, and that's it. Okay. A few things. Make sure you change the name here to Solubility. Make sure that it looks good. So mass of solute dissolved in your y-axis, mass of solute in your x-axis. The one thing that you need to do is actually come into Setup and change the, oh, actually it's already changed for me. But say it was given this way. Okay, you need to go into Setup and then change to Scattered Plot. Okay, so I want to make sure that there's no lines. I don't want to see any lines. I just want to see the dots. I have to change again. And again, you can change the type of graph by going to Setup, and then right here you tell you what kind of graph. Give you options for the type of graph you want. Okay, but this is what I want. See, it looks beautiful. So you can see here, this is when the solute is being dissolved, and here is when it's saturated. So, right, the solution is unsaturated here and saturated here. Okay, that's what we want to see. And each chemical has its own profile for solubility, so it's important to create curves like that so we know if you want to reach just a saturated solution without added stuff to it, so you know how much you need to add. Anyway, to put this in a document, so Google Docs and Google Sheets, they talk to each other. So all you need to do is you're going to Edit, Copy, go into the document, and just press Insert or Edit, Paste, and then it's going to ask you if you want them to talk to each other. Do you want them to be linked? And it doesn't matter, just say yes. And that's it. Here's your graph. Okay? And if you made a mistake and you want to correct something in here, you don't have to copy and paste again. They're linked together. Okay? So that is it